Hi everyone, I hope all is well. We get back to our regular program this week discussing the Parasha Likrat Shabbat. This month's class is sponsored by Joey and Raquel Franco in honor of the Minyan, so thank you, Anti-School of Mitzvot. This week's Parasha, Perashat Aharei Mot, which discusses the service of Yom Kippur, all of the things that happened in the Beit HaMikdash on Yom Kippur, particularly through the eyes of the Kohen Gadol. And one of the highlights of the service was the Seir HaMishtaleach. 2 goats were taken, and based on a lottery, one of them was offered as a korban on the Mizbeach, and the other one was escorted out into the Midbar and thrown off a cliff for confession, or for forgiveness of the sins of the Jewish people. And it's a strange service, which creates a number of questions from the Mifarshim, one of them being, what is the significance of this service, of this ceremony? And in particular, the Mishnah writes that the Seirim should be as closely matched as possible in terms of their size and shape and stature. What is it about these 2 goats, and why is this a foundation of the service on Yom Kippurim? And the truth is, I think that it connects to the topic that we have been discussing in Chovot Levavot, which is this idea of free will versus Borei Olam's control. And we discussed yesterday, at least according to Harambam, that free will is a fundamental precept of the Torah, and we believe that man has the ability to make his own decisions without any imposition coming from external forces. We make our own decisions, and therefore we are culpable when we do something wrong, and we get accolades when we do something right, as we navigate a world that sometimes can throw difficult decisions at us. And perhaps that is the significance of this ceremony. We take 2 goats. One of them is offered as a korban, and the other one is taken out into the desert and thrown off the cliff as a confession for the sins of the Jewish people. And as the Jewish people stood and watched, what it was supposed to remind them of was this very idea. The entire year has gone by. You are standing now in the process of Teshuvah. The reason why you're standing and doing Teshuvah is because this entire year, the past 365 days, you had the opportunity to make several decisions. What were those decisions? Did you choose to get closer to Borei Olam? Did you choose to be the Seir that went as a korban on the Mizbeach, and therefore strengthen your relationship with Borei Olam and make those kinds of choices? Or did you make choices that sent you far off into the distance, away from Borei Olam, perhaps even on the precipice of being completely so far gone that you were out of the inyan? As we watch this happening, we're supposed to be reminded of the fact that the choices that we make in life, our decisions are ours. And we can't put the blame on anybody else. We can't put the responsibility on anybody else. We make the choices, and we suffer, and we face the consequences. And perhaps that was the Mishnah's insight when it said both of these Seirim should be nearly identical. And perhaps with that, they're adding a dimension to this idea of free will, and that is sometimes we're in a position that right and wrong look so similar, and we can't tell the difference between them. And we struggle to make a decision, and we're not 100% sure whether or not we're moving in the right path, because the paradigm that we have built for ourselves allows us to see right and wrong in such a similar light that sometimes we don't even know the difference anymore. At which point, we should take a step back and say, if I'm at that point where I can't tell the difference between right and wrong, or they look so similar to me, and the decision is such a difficult decision when otherwise it should be so clear, then maybe there's something wrong. Maybe I'm not on the right path. Maybe I'm at the end of making several wrong decisions that has gotten me to this point, and I need to take a step back. So as we read about the ceremony in the Beit HaMikdash on Yom Kippurim, about the 2 Seirim, let us consider whether or not we are making the right decisions and where those decisions are leading us. Either towards Borei Olam, towards the Mizbeach, towards the Beit HaMikdash, towards Kiddusha, or somewhere off in the distance, headed in the wrong direction, perhaps off the precipice into something much more dangerous. Shabbat Shalom.